Welcome to Zoe Stories. My girlfriend's magic lipstick changed my life forever. My name is Lucas Moreno, 24, quietly tucked away in a Portland apartment that always smells faintly of fresh coffee and printer ink. I live a routine life: breakfast at 9, client meetings at noon, design work into the late hours of the night. On paper, I'm just a freelance graphic designer.
Quiet.
Professional. Reliable. No one ever suspects a thing. But behind that digital portfolio and polite smile is a secret I've buried deep. A secret that began whispering in my mind years ago, and no matter how many times I tried to silence it, it always found its way back into my thoughts. Even now, especially now, no one knows. Not my parents, not my friends from college, not my clients. Not even my girlfriend, Emma. At least, I used to believe that. But lately, I've begun to question everything. Because Emma? She's not like anyone I've ever met. She's smart, intuitive, and breathtakingly confident. The kind of woman who could walk into a room of strangers and walk out with 10 new friends. She's not just beautiful, she's magic. Every glance, every smile, every word from her lips feels like a spell I'm helpless against. We've been together for 2 years now. She moved into my apartment 10 months ago, turning my gray world into something vibrant. Her clothes hang next to mine. Her makeup lines the edge of my bathroom sink. Her laughter bounces off the kitchen tiles every morning. But with every beautiful thing she brings into my life, she also brings temptation. You see, I've always felt a strange pull toward femininity. Ever since I was 13 and caught my reflection while trying on my sister's scarf, something had stirred inside me. It was terrifying. It was thrilling. It felt like someone else was waking up inside my skin, and once I got a taste of that feeling, it never really went away. I buried that version of me beneath normalcy.
Sports. School. Work.
A straight relationship. And I told myself that loving Emma would cure me of it. That it was just a phase. That I could move on.
But now?
Now I realize that I never moved on. I just got better at hiding. The truth is, while Emma's away, I sometimes stand in front of our bedroom mirror, imagining what it would feel like to be someone else. To let go. To transform. To cross that invisible line society tells me not to cross. I've never dared act on it. Not until that day. It was just another Thursday. Rain tapped against the windows like curious fingers. Emma was out shopping, leaving behind the soft scent of her lavender perfume and the echo of a kiss goodbye. I had a project deadline looming, a rebranding campaign for a cosmetics company. Their new slogan kept popping up on my screen. Reveal your truest self. I snorted. The irony wasn't lost on me. Their hero product? A new lipstick line named Velvet Spell. Sultry packaging. Golden tube. The kind of thing that practically dared you to try it. And as fate would have it, a PR box from that exact same company had arrived at our door the day before. For Emma, of course. I shouldn't have opened it. But I did. Inside was that lipstick. The Velvet Spell. A deep ruby red that shimmered under the soft glow of our hallway light. My breath caught. I told myself I was just curious, just looking. But my fingers trembled as I picked it up. Something about it felt heavy. Like it knew me. Like it had been waiting for me. I held it up to the mirror. Twisted it open. The scent hit me instantly, vanilla and something deeper. Almost like cinnamon? Or was it cloves? It didn't matter. My heart was pounding. My reflection stared back at me, half in awe, half in fear. And then I did it. I leaned in and ran the smooth, cold stick across my bottom lip. It was electric. For a moment, everything else fell away. The room, the rain, the world. It all blurred. All I could feel was the glide of color on my skin and the rush of adrenaline that surged through me like wildfire. My lips tingled. My body shivered. I had never felt more alive. And then the front door clicked.
Emma.
I froze. Panic gripped me like a fist. I scrambled, wiping the lipstick off with the sleeve of my hoodie. Tossed the tube back in the box, shoved it under the hallway table. I bolted to my desk, opened my laptop, pretended to be mid-meeting. When she walked in, soaked from the rain and laughing at the mess her umbrella made. She paused. Just for a second. Her eyes narrowed. "Something smells different," she said, her head tilting ever so slightly. "Did you light a candle?" I nodded too fast.
Yeah.
"One of yours. The vanilla one." She didn't say anything more, just smiled and walked into the kitchen. But that smile? It lingered. It wasn't suspicious, exactly, it was knowing. That night, I couldn't sleep. She curled up next to me, her head on my chest, her breathing soft and steady. But my mind was a hurricane. I couldn't stop thinking about the lipstick, about how it made me feel, about how close I came to being caught. And then there were her questions. The ones she'd been asking more frequently lately. If you could trade lives with anyone for a day, who would it be? Do you think people have hidden versions of themselves, just waiting to be seen? Would you ever want to be someone else? She asked them casually, almost playfully. But there was always a glint in her eye. Like she was waiting for something. Like she knew. And I began to wonder. Was Emma testing me? Was she setting me up? Because here's the truth. That lipstick wasn't ordinary. I know that sounds crazy. But something about it didn't feel like normal makeup. Something happened the moment I put it on. Something inside me shifted. And if I'm being honest, I want to do it again. I want to know what would happen if I didn't wipe it off. If I let it stay. If I wore it with pride. But I'm scared. I love Emma. I don't want to lose her. I don't want to destroy what we've built. But what if I've already started becoming someone she secretly wants me to be? And what if that lipstick is her way of showing me the truth? What if my transformation has already begun? Lucas had never felt so alive or so afraid. After that first time slipping into Emma's silky red dress and applying her lipstick, something inside him cracked open. A door he hadn't even realized existed was now swinging wider by the day. The taste of femininity, soft fabrics, shimmering gloss, and the way his reflection almost didn't recognize him, was addictive. Terrifying, yes, but intoxicating beyond anything he'd known. And yet, beneath the thrill, a quiet dread haunted him. Because every high came with a risk. Every transformation could be the one that ruined him. Or worst, exposed him. Emma started acting different. At first, it was small things.
Subtle.
Almost unnoticeable. She began complimenting him more, little remarks that felt offbeat. "That shirt fits you so nicely. You have such a soft frame." Or, "Your skin is so smooth, babe. Almost prettier than mine." Lucas would laugh it off, smile nervously. But inside, he was spiraling. Does she know? Is she testing me? Then came the late-night questions. One night, while they were curled up on the couch watching an old rom-com, Emma turned to him and whispered, "If you could be a woman for one day, what would you do?" Lucas almost choked on his drink. What? Where did that come from? She just shrugged, smiling slyly. Just curious. I think you'd make a very pretty girl. He froze. Emma giggled and turned back to the movie like it was nothing. But for Lucas, it was everything. His mind raced. Did she find the lipstick? The dress? Did I leave a trace? He couldn't remember. That day, he thought he'd been so careful.
But now?
Doubt was sinking in like a stone. Despite the fear, Lucas couldn't stop. Emma's weekend schedule became his freedom window. Every time she left for yoga, brunch, or errands, he transformed, rushing upstairs like a man possessed. He gave himself a name, Luna. It started as a joke, something he whispered under his breath as he looked in the mirror, decked out in one of Emma's flowy skirts, a soft pink blouse, and the magical lipstick that started it all. But over time, Luna wasn't just a costume. She was a person. Luna smiled differently, walked with a delicate confidence. She brushed her hair with grace and looked back at the mirror with dreamy eyes that Lucas didn't recognize as his own. The lipstick, Emma's rose gold shimmer stick, became a ritual. He'd twist it slowly, hear that satisfying click, and apply it with trembling hands. Every swipe was like a spell. As if with each stroke, Lucas faded and Luna bloomed. The more he transformed, the more he felt like this was the real him. Or, at least, a version he never allowed himself to see before. But every fantasy came with a deadline. The moment the clock ticked too far, the spell would shatter. He'd rip off the clothes, scrub off the lipstick, toss everything back into Emma's closet, and sink onto the bed, heart pounding, guilt gnawing at him. Every time, he promised himself, "That's the last time. No more." But the next day, Luna would whisper, "Just one more time." And Emma kept watching him. Lucas began to feel like he was living inside a two-way mirror. Every glance from her felt like a spotlight. She began leaving out little things. A lace bra draped across the back of a chair. A pair of new high heels casually left by the bed. One morning, she even left her lipstick uncapped on the bathroom counter. Lucas stared at it, stunned. That was the one. The same magical tube he'd been using. Normally, she was meticulous, always capping it, storing it away. But today, it sat there like an offering. His hand reached out, trembling. Was it a trap? He twisted it slightly. That familiar rose gold tip peeked out. Then he heard her voice from the hallway. "Don't forget to brush your teeth, babe." He froze. His heart slammed against his ribs. She knew.
He was sure of it now.
But how much? Had she seen him? Was she testing him? Playing a long game? Or worse, was she setting him up? That Sunday afternoon, Lucas made a mistake he couldn't take back. Emma had gone grocery shopping. She said she'd be back in 2 hours. Plenty of time. Lucas bolted upstairs, yanked open the closet, and began the ritual. He picked out a floral sundress, short, playful, and feminine to the core. He added soft pink heels, some clip-on earrings, and finally, the lipstick. He stood in front of the mirror, flushed with joy and adrenaline. He twirled.
He posed.
He even practiced Luna's voice, soft, teasing, with a musical lilt. He felt beautiful, more alive than he ever had. But in the rush, he left something behind. A mug. He'd made tea while getting ready, green jasmine, and took it upstairs. Now, it sat on the counter with a perfect lipstick print on the rim. He didn't see it when he came back down. His head was still in the clouds, dizzy with transformation. He wiped the counter, threw the dress in the hamper, scrubbed off the lipstick. But not the mug. Emma walked in minutes later. "Hey babe, got your snacks," she called out. Lucas rushed to greet her, trying to seem casual. But her eyes wandered. She paused in the kitchen, stared, and then picked up the mug. She turned it in her hands, then looked at him. "Is this yours?" Lucas's throat went dry. Yeah. I mean, maybe." She held it up, the pink smear catching the light. "You wearing my lipstick now?" she asked, smiling. Lucas stammered. "Wah, no. I think you left that one from earlier, right?" She tilted her head. "Did I?" She washed it slowly, too slowly, then turned and gave him a kiss. On the lips. As she pulled back, she whispered, "You taste sweet." He didn't sleep that night. The next day, Emma left a note on the bathroom mirror. In her signature bubbly handwriting, it read, "If you're going to wear my lipstick, at least learn to blend it better, winking face." Lucas stood frozen in the doorway, heart jackhammering in his chest. The note wasn't angry. It wasn't judgmental. It was playful, but terrifying. She knew. And she wasn't confronting him. Not directly. She was toying with him, luring him further down the rabbit hole. Was it approval? Was it a trap? Was she waiting for him to confess? Or was she orchestrating something much, much bigger? Lucas had never felt so naked. Not even when he was in a dress. His secret wasn't just his anymore. Emma had it now. And she was doing something with it. He just didn't know what.
Yet.
Lucas used to see Luna as a secret, something to be buried, contained, hidden. But not anymore. Now Luna was breathing, moving, demanding space in his life. The more Lucas tried to suppress her, the louder she got. Whispering in his ear at night, haunting his dreams, seducing him in the mirror. It wasn't just a game anymore. It was a craving. And he was losing control. At first, Lucas just borrowed Emma's things. But that wasn't enough anymore. Emma's style was too bold. Too her. Luna needed her own identity. So Lucas did something reckless. He created a fake email. A new name. Luna Verity. He signed up for a makeup subscription box under that name. Bought a prepaid debit card. He ordered beginner makeup kits, a long brown wig, a pair of sheer tights, and a delicate baby blue dress. When the first package arrived, his heart nearly exploded from the rush. He hid the box under the bed, hands shaking. That night, after Emma fell asleep, he snuck into the bathroom and locked the door. He unpacked the dress, slipping it on with reverence. It fit perfectly. He brushed the wig carefully, clipped it in place, and looked into the mirror. Then he applied the lipstick. Not Emma's this time, his own. But it still felt like magic. He didn't just see Luna. He was Luna. That night, standing in front of the mirror in full Luna form, something strange happened. He heard himself speak. But the voice wasn't Lucas's. It was soft, feminine, confident. "I'm not going anywhere," Luna whispered through his own mouth. He jolted back from the mirror, heart racing. Was he imagining things? Was he cracking? But deep inside, something shifted. Lucas began to feel like he wasn't the only one living in his body anymore. Luna was no longer just a costume. She was a passenger. And maybe even a rival. Emma was being too nice, too observant, and far too quiet. She didn't mention the note again. Didn't question the lipstick. Didn't confront him. She just watched. She kissed him more often. Hugged him longer. Left for errands with suspiciously perfect timing. Lucas became paranoid. Was she setting up cameras? Did she know his second email? Was she following Luna on Instagram? Because yes, Lucas had created an Instagram. It was small, private. Just a place to post a few selfies as Luna. Play pretend. But the likes came fast. A few random comments. And even a DM. One simply read, "Your makeup is gorgeous. You look so natural." He hadn't told anyone about the account. And yet, the tone of that message chilled him. It felt like Emma. But he couldn't prove it. It was a Thursday. Emma texted him. "Out with the girls. Yoga plus brunch. Be back late. Love you, 2 hearts." Lucas took it as a green light. He waited 10 minutes. Double-checked the locks.
Triple-checked.
Then he ran to the bedroom and pulled out Luna. The baby blue dress. The wig. The heels. But this time he went further.
He shaved.
All of it. His arms. His chest. His legs. He wanted to feel smooth. Feminine.
Whole.
He applied foundation. Contour.
Blush.
Highlight. Mascara. Liner.
Brows.
And finally, the lipstick. His own now, but still shimmering with that magical rose gold glow. When he looked in the mirror, he didn't see Lucas anymore. He saw Luna. And Luna was beautiful. He was mid-selfie when it happened. Click. The sound of the front door unlocking. His blood turned to ice. He hadn't heard a car. Hadn't gotten a text. Emma was supposed to be gone for hours. She wasn't. "Lucas," her voice called out from the hallway. Panic surged through him. He bolted toward the bedroom, heels clicking wildly on the hardwood. Too loud. Too obvious. He kicked off the shoes, fumbled with the wig. "Babe." Her voice was closer now. He ripped off the dress. It caught on his arm.
Tore.
He yanked it off, tossed it under the bed, grabbed a hoodie, pulled it on. Too late. She was in the doorway. And she saw everything. The makeup. The lipstick. The half-smeared foundation. The shaved body. The wig on the floor. The eyes wide with terror. Emma didn't scream. She didn't cry. She just stood there, looking at him. Not with anger. Not even shock. Just knowing. She stepped inside the room slowly, her heels soft on the carpet. Lucas froze. Mouth dry. Heart pounding. He couldn't speak. Emma picked up the wig, held it delicately, then looked at him. "Is her name Luna?" she asked softly. Lucas broke. Tears welled up. His knees buckled. He dropped onto the bed, hiding his face. "I didn't mean, I wasn't, I'm sorry." Emma sat beside him, put a hand on his thigh. "You're beautiful," she whispered. Lucas looked up confused. What? I've known for weeks, she said. You've been Luna longer than you realize. He blinked. You're not mad? She smiled. But it didn't reach her eyes. I'm not mad, she said. I'm excited. That word chilled him. Excited?
What?
She leaned closer. I have plans for you, she whispered, her breath hot against his cheek. Lucas's stomach dropped. What kind of plans? Emma stood, walked to the closet and pulled something out. A box, wrapped in rose gold paper. She placed it on the bed. Inside was a full makeup set. Lipsticks, brushes, foundations, a new dress, lingerie, stockings. And at the bottom, a document. Lucas picked it up. It was titled, Luna's Living Agreement. His hands shook as he flipped the pages. Schedules.
Chores.
Outfits. Behavior rules.
Curfews.
Restrictions. Expectations. And at the bottom, a signature line. Emma's name was already signed. The other line was blank. He looked at her, horrified. What is this? She smiled wider than ever before. You wanted to be Luna, she said. Now it's time to live as her. Lucas had never felt more suffocated. Every morning, Emma would greet him as Luna, dragging him out of bed for another round of transformation. They'd go through the motions, applying makeup, putting on the dress, and slipping into the heels, all things that felt foreign, yet more natural with every passing day. But it wasn't just about the external changes anymore. It was how it felt inside, how he felt. His reflection in the mirror no longer surprised him. It had become comforting. But that wasn't the most disturbing part. The most disturbing part was that Emma had turned into something else entirely. She no longer just watched Luna bloom. She reveled in it. And when Luna questioned her actions, Emma's answers were always vague, laced with cryptic hints. Every time Lucas brought up his suspicions about the arrangement, Emma would calm him down with soft kisses and gentle words. She promised it would all be worth it. Just trust me, Lucas. She insisted she was doing this for them, for their future. But something nagged at him, a feeling that wouldn't go away. Emma wasn't just playing along. She had orchestrated everything. This wasn't a simple desire for control. There was something deeper, something darker. It was the night after their date. The night they had spent, Luna and Emma, just the two of them, at a fancy restaurant, where Luna was the center of attention. The conversation had flowed effortlessly, Emma looking on with approval as Luna charmed everyone around them. But when they got home, Luna could barely breathe. She excused herself and locked herself in the bathroom. She didn't want to look at her reflection anymore. She was sick of it. Sick of this game. Then the knock came. Luna. Emma's voice called out, calm and insistent. I know you're in there. We need to talk. Lucas's heart pounded. He wanted to say no. He wanted to resist. But the door swung open before he could speak. Emma stepped in, her smile calm but cold. Her eyes were different now. Calculating, like she had already won the battle. I know what you're thinking, she said, standing in front of the mirror as Luna's reflection stared back. You're wondering why I've done this. Why I've pushed you so far. Luna's eyes, Lucas's eyes, met Emma's in the mirror. And for the first time he saw something new in them. It wasn't love. It was control. Emma reached forward, brushing Luna's hair aside. She cupped her cheek tenderly, but there was no tenderness in her eyes. I didn't want to make you feel trapped, Luna. I wanted to give you a chance to be free. The words hit Lucas like a slap to the face. Free, he whispered, his voice cracking. This isn't freedom. You've trapped me. You've turned me into someone I'm not. Emma's lips curled into a smile that sent a chill down his spine. Oh, sweetie, you're wrong. You are this person. I didn't make you into Luna. You became her. I just gave you the opportunity to embrace her. Luna felt the blood drain from her face. No, she whispered. That can't be true. You can't be. Emma's expression turned serious, her eyes narrowing. You think this is just about clothes and makeup? About me having control over you? No, Lucas. It's much more than that. She stepped back, her fingers trailing the vanity. I knew what you were, long before you did. Luna's heart skipped a beat. What do you mean?
What do you know about me?
Emma's gaze softened, as if pitying him. I've been watching you, Lucas. I've known you were different. And when I gave you that lipstick, I didn't just want to see you transform physically. I wanted to see you finally give in. Luna's pulse quickened. Give in? Give in to what? Emma stepped closer, now inches away. She lowered her voice. I wanted to unlock what was already inside of you. What you were too afraid to confront. What you'd been hiding for years. The real you, Lucas. Luna recoiled.
No. You've been lying to me.
This is manipulation. Emma raised her hand, silencing him with a single gesture. You've always known, she said, voice calm but powerful. You've just been too scared to admit it. Deep down, you've wanted this. You've wanted to become her. To become Luna. And now you've realized it. Lucas couldn't breathe. It wasn't just Emma's words that stung. It was the realization creeping in, the truth. She was right.
He had wanted this.
He had wanted to escape. To step into a life where he wasn't bound by expectations. Where he could be himself. But it wasn't the way Emma had done it. It wasn't under her control. It wasn't this twisted, suffocating arrangement. I'm not going to let you go, Emma said, her voice low and predatory. Not now that I've unlocked you. Luna shook her head, the weight of Emma's words crushing him. You're insane.
You've ruined me.
No, Emma said, a dark glint in her eye. I've given you a life you could never have had. You're free to be Luna. I'm just here to help you realize it. Luna backed away, toward the door. This isn't help. It's prison. Emma's eyes gleamed with cruel amusement. Then escape. Luna froze. What do you mean? Emma walked slowly to the drawer beside the vanity. She pulled out a small black box, something Lucas had never seen before, and placed it on the table. Take this and you'll be free, she said, pushing it toward him. Luna's fingers trembled as she opened the box. Inside was a ring. A beautiful, delicate band. But there was something ominous about it. An aura of control.
A ring.
Luna asked, voice shaking. What is this? Emma smiled coldly. Put it on. If you do, you'll be free to live as Luna. No strings attached. You won't have to answer to me anymore. You'll be who you truly are. Luna stared at the ring. But there was something in Emma's eyes, something wrong, that made him hesitate. What's the catch? Luna asked. Emma's smile widened. I've already won, she whispered. And just like that, Luna felt a sinking feeling in his stomach. This was no gift. It was the final chain. Luna stared at the ring in his hand, the weight of the decision crashing over him. What was he going to do? Take the ring and become who he had always wanted to be? Or turn away and risk losing everything? Luna's fingers tightened around the delicate ring, the cool metal now an anchor pulling her in two directions. She stared at it, the weight of the decision heavier than she could have ever anticipated. Emma stood silently across the room, watching her every move, her smile unreadable. For a moment, everything felt frozen. The entire room, the world around her, seemed to fade as Luna was left alone with her thoughts. The ring, its intricate design gleaming in the soft light, seemed to taunt her with its promise. Take it and you're free. Emma's voice echoed in the room, soft and enticing. Luna's heart hammered in her chest, each beat a reminder of the life she was leaving behind and the one she was being forced into. She had lived in this prison for so long, feeling like a stranger in her own body. The lipstick, the clothes, the makeup, they had all started as chains, as tools of Emma's control, but now, somewhere in the depths of her mind, Luna couldn't help but wonder if she had changed. If she had wanted this all along. Could she just walk away? Could she keep fighting Emma's hold on her? But then again, was she really fighting it? Emma watched Luna closely, her arms folded as she leaned against the doorway, a strange calmness in her demeanor. She wasn't anxious or desperate. No, she was confident, almost pleased with herself. She knew exactly how this would play out. I won't force you to take it, Emma said softly. You know that. Luna's pulse raced. Of course, Emma wasn't forcing her. She never had to. Every step had been calculated, carefully constructed to bring Luna to this very moment. To make her believe this was her choice. The illusion of control, the illusion of freedom. Luna clenched her jaw. She had known for a while that Emma's plans had gone deeper than she ever realized. This was never about clothes, makeup, or identity. It was about something far more insidious: control. And Emma had always been the one pulling the strings. But Emma's calmness, her lack of urgency, stirred something inside Luna. Could she actually do it? Could she step out of the trap? Could she take the ring and end it once and for all? Luna glanced back at the mirror. The reflection staring back at her was her, yet it wasn't. There was a softness in her features, a grace in the way she moved, but it was all Emma's design. The face, the body, Luna had become someone else. Someone who wasn't Lucas. But who was she, really? A shiver ran down Luna's spine. Was this freedom, or was it just another cage? She knew that if she took the ring, she would never be the same. Her life would be bound to Emma's expectations, no longer just an identity to be shaped, but a life to be lived. Everything would be decided for her. There would be no room for doubt, no space for rebellion. And yet, there was a part of her, buried deep inside, that felt compelled to take it. A desire to escape the suffocating reality of being Lucas, to embrace this new world as Luna, to finally be seen, to finally live the life she had always fantasized about. But at what cost? Luna's gaze returned to the ring, and her breath hitched. She didn't want to admit it, but the thought of freedom, real freedom, even if it meant never truly escaping Emma's grasp, pulled her closer to the idea of taking it. But then, she remembered the truth. The truth that had been hiding in the back of her mind all this time. The truth she had tried to deny. She was being manipulated. She had felt it from the very beginning. The thrill of the lipstick, the softness of the clothes, the way Emma's presence made her feel alive. It wasn't freedom. It was a carefully constructed fantasy that Emma had created, a dream designed to make her believe this was the life she wanted. The mirror reflected the girl she had become.
Luna.
But the truth was, she didn't need to be her to feel alive. She didn't need Emma's approval to live her life. Emma stepped forward, her voice dropping to a whisper. You know, Luna, this could be the last time we have a moment like this. Luna's hand trembled as she held the ring, her heart pounding in her chest. Emma's words were like daggers, sharp and cold, but they didn't break her. They only made her more determined. Do you want to be free, Luna? Emma asked again, her voice laced with an edge of desperation. Take the ring, and you can have everything. All of it. The life you've always dreamed of. Luna's mind was racing, but in that moment, she realized something. The life she had dreamed of wasn't tied to Emma. It wasn't tied to the clothes, the makeup, or the name. It was tied to the truth. To accepting herself, not through Emma's eyes, but through her own. She met Emma's gaze, and for the first time, Luna wasn't afraid. No, she said, her voice steady. I won't take it. Emma's eyes widened slightly, and for the first time, Luna saw a flicker of something real: fear. Why not? Emma asked, her voice trembling. Luna's eyes darkened with resolve. Because I am Luna, but I don't need you to define me. The room was silent. For a long, tense moment, neither of them moved. Emma stood there, her expression unreadable, and Luna felt the weight of the decision hanging in the air like a heavy fog. The truth was finally out. The game had shifted. The control was slipping through Emma's fingers, and Luna had finally broken free. But the question remained. Was it too late? Had she already given so much of herself to Emma that she could never truly escape?